Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm. Bit of an odd one. We're doing this on a Monday, but hey, you get a Saturday 10 p.m., 11 p.m. live letter, and you get a Monday State of the Realm. Schedule is going to be a little weird for the next couple of weeks, but we're going to be bringing you a couple of shows at the very least planned here at the end of September and into early October. But let's just get started. We got a live letter to talk about. One of your hosts, Mr. Happy, and of course, joining me is Sly, who's in a very football mood.
Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. Yeah, the reason we didn't do this on Sunday was because of Sunday. Sunday football.
No, it wasn't. Actually, wasn't. It was like, I was keeping up with the games, but there was Aethercon.
There was that too, but that's not the reason you gave me. I said football, and you said yeah.
Well, I completely forgot about my Sunday schedule for Aethercon. I'm like, oh yeah, I have stuff to do.
Yeah, like I said, you didn't tell me. You said I said football, and you said yeah. That's exactly how that conversation went. So you can say it was Aethercon, and it may be true, but it wasn't when we made the plan to do a Monday show. Yeah. Just a heads up to everyone. Next week's show will also be on Wednesday because Sly will be away on our usual days, which means it'll be uploaded to YouTube and podcast formats on Thursdays. This one's going to be uploaded on Tuesdays, obviously. If you're watching this on YouTube, you already know that. But everyone watching live, in case you can't stay for the whole thing, it will be uploaded tomorrow. Do you stay up for the live letter, Sly?
I sure did. And this was after a DJ set.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It wasn't very long. It was like 80 minutes.
No.
Yep. Yeah. That TGS stage restriction actually saving you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't mind if all Part 1 live letters were like this from now on, because that was quick and easy. Part 2 live letters go on, take your time. But Part 1 live letters are normally just the way they did this. And with no fluff, it was very digestible.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to talking about that. First, thanks to our sponsors over on Patreon for supporting. They don't have to support. They choose to support. All of our content is available for free on YouTube and podcasting apps. So just enjoy it. And as long as you do that, we will be A-OK. So Sly, 7.1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A bit of an interesting time for Final Fantasy XIV, because Dawn Trail has had a lot of discussion up to this point in regards to a little bit of their formulaic release stuff and, how it doesn't really support the 19-month schedule or the 19-week schedule between patches. And we're coming into 7.1, and of what we got teased so far, it's a lot of stuff for people like me more than anyone else.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely, I would agree with that. And it kind of begs the question of how, with everything that they discuss, how it's going to be staggered. That's the big question for me.
Yeah, how it's going to be staggered, and how I'm glad to see them trying something else in a 0.1, because this is more than we would normally get in a 0.1. But I still am a fan of the idea of them putting in exploration content in 0.1x, prioritizing it earlier in the expansion. And I think that's what they should have done instead of the new stuff that we saw, or at least the new major content that we saw. But I'm excited all the same, because it's going to be an interesting time, to say the least. But we're going to go in order of everything that they announced, everything over on the Reddit Discord, the unofficial translations. And the first thing we have is the patch art and the patch name. The patch name is Crossroads, which I think is the first time they've ever done a one-word patch.
One-word
ever.
Patch name.
Yeah, that's like an expansion style. Like, it's not really. Their expansion style is like two different words, like heaven and ward. So heaven's ward, like it's like, or shadow bringer, like it's like there's formulaic in a different way. Crossroads wouldn't really. It's really just one word, not like two words being combined to like make another meaning.
Yeah.
But the artwork that accompanies it is all a bunch of unrelated stuff.
Oh God, yes, it is such a mishmash.
Yeah. So first and foremost, Bakul Jaja's in it, which is funny because we don't actually see Bakul in any of their MSQ preview stuff. It seems to focus mostly on Galul, which it makes sense Bakul would be a part of that.
Fresh off the presses of Aethercon is actually having an interview with
Yep.
Bakul Jaja. He did said he is involved with the patch, but he couldn't just say.
Well, of course he is. He's in the artwork. That would be shocking if he wasn't. He's just not in any of their. They seem to be teasing a lot of Galul Ja's origin and learning about how he even became to be born and Zoral Ja's legacy, which means, of course, we're going to be exploring more of Alexandria's culture, which is really important, which is hopefully leading us towards the 7.3 finale, which you can take that guess with what you will. I'm still betting on the preservation, potentially Pasturat still being a part of it. I would totally believe that was the original theory with everything that was happening in Dawn Trail. So he's here. Then we'll move over into the Final Fantasy XI stuff. We have Shadow Lord showing up again in the top right.
Yep.
And we have confirmation of the most popular character in Final Fantasy XI, one of the most popular characters, and that of Prish. How much do you remember about Prish, Sly?
Quite a bit. She was like when. Well, which was it? No,
it's Chains of Promethea. She's part of Chains of Promethea.
Yeah. So yeah, like I remember a lot. I remember her seeing her in quite a few cutscenes.
Well, yeah, she is literally the main character of Chains of Promethea. In the same way Wuklamad is the main character of Dawn Trail, in a sense, she's the main character of Chains of Promethea. And Final Fantasy XI does it. A lot of it might be a little strange coming from 14, but 11, you are not the main character of 11 until Rhapsodies of Vana'diel. Then you become the main character. You are just kind of along for the ride, and like you're a confidant and like strong adventurer pretty much throughout all of it. So each of Final Fantasy's expansions has a female protagonist, essentially. You have Lion, Prish, Nashmira, Arciela, Lillicet, and Iroha. I think the only one that doesn't technically have one is Voracious Resurgence doesn't technically have a main character. Kind of does, but not really. So she is from Chains of Promethea, the second expansion. And she is among the most popular characters. So popular, in fact, that when Dissidia expanded past Shantoto, Prish was the character they added. So Shantoto, probably number one, but Prish number two. Are you thinking of a Shantoto? I don't think we'll see her at all. I don't think Shantoto's going to show up even for a second.
Hell, I was thinking we'd see Star Sybil in lieu of Shantoto.
It looks like the place, given where the alliance rate is, which we'll talk about a little bit later, I don't think we're going to see any of the leaders of the nations. I'd be shocked, especially with what it looks like will be happening, because I have a pretty solid idea of what's actually happening in the raid.
Yeah.
Boss Shantoto. Oh no, then you can't win. You're done. Then you lose. So have fun with that. Then we have the bottom left, Cloud of Darkness. This is part of a new feature they'll be adding later. It's nothing story related. So just a fun little teaser of her being in there. But at the top, we have what was a very unexpected reveal, because there's one of two things happening with that reveal. The top is the Oracle of Light and Dark, or the Oracle of Balance. That is Reen with both her Hraesvelgr wings and her Hydaelyn headpiece, in Gaia's black dress with black highlights at the end of her, or black hair ends, and a wing. One is light and one is dark. That's not a form that exists in the game.
Nope.
And it's clearly a reference to the ultimate. But not everyone's convinced that's the final, the last 3 minutes of the fight, like phase looking thing. Some people think that they didn't reveal that, and this is just some sort of like generic teaser image. Are you in the boat? Do you think this is the final form, or do you think they've got something more extravagant?
I think it's a form.
I think it's a form.
Yeah, I think it's a form, but I think they have something, to surprise you.
That would be this. Not only would this be the first time they've shown us a new form in an artwork or a trailer of any kind, it would also be, if your theory holds true, the first time they have two special forms. I'm not going to count fucking Golden Omega. Like, come on. Like, Golden Bahamut was cool for its time, and Super Ultima is cool for its time, but we've had Perfect Alexander and Dragon King Thornton, and I don't even remember what the last form of Omega, the Alpha Omega. I don't care because it's top and I don't want to think about it, you know? So it'd be interesting to know that there's actually 2 completely original forms for this, which is frightening because I'm already scared. I was scared as it is.
I think you should be.
I think I am. I'm pretty sure that I am. But that's one way. And of course, it's looming over everything else. Like, hey, guys, there's an ultimate in the back over there. So, yeah, that's our initial teaser. That alone already has a lot of information. That's a very, very informative patch artwork, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Then they went through their usual checklist, like here's MSQ, side quests, whatnot. MSQ, again, has a lot of Galul Jah stuff. It has Zoral Jah. It has Wuklamot Koana. You know, it just has your Dawn Trail characters. Graha's in both screenshots as well, so he's really enjoying tagging along. Jumping ahead, though, the dungeon, the Ueyawada field station, which is way easier to pronounce than I thought it would be. What in the Resident Evil am I looking at?
I know. Yeah, every time you see glass like this, you think it breaks, right? Right.
That's what Yoshi P said. But it's not just the glass; it's the hospital beds and the blood on the inside of the glass that gives me the Resident Evil vibes. I'm wondering. I mean, given it probably ties to Galul Jah, I'm assuming this is where they did cloning experimentation or.
Yep.
Yeah, which again, very Resident Evil. Resident Evil sure does love mutating and cloning people.
Yeah, the soul experimentation.
I guess that's the other question. Like they could have made this could have been where they made regulators, for example. It could have just been a multi-purpose facility, to be completely fair. It may not have had one focus. They could have held more ether sick people here, and they could have transformed, and they could have lost control of the station. It's within the bubble, so the idea of them ever losing control of it's a little strange. They would have had to have been doing something truly heinous, and I believe Zoral Jah probably would have been the one making them do it, given it seems like everyone else was just kind of content with a little bit of fuckery with the regulators. And I don't think this is where they sent the people from the Arcadian. They said that was on the highest floor, on the 11th floor of the Everkeep itself. So this is probably no relation to the Arcadian stuff. So do people keep recommending to you that for Beastmaster they just give people regulators?
I haven't heard that recommendation.
I have gotten that recommendation so many times. It's like they didn't do the Arcadian. I feel like that's supposed to be a lesson that we shouldn't do that.
Yep.
It's a bad idea. Our new Allied Society quest is the Pelu Pelu. There are combat tribe quests.
That was kind of surprising to me, man. We hustling? We hustling?
No,
again?
they're hustling. We're just getting them the goods.
No, okay.
I mean, what are we thinking? Are we mercenaries to the? Because here's the thing: they're not crafters or gatherers; they're traders. So I understand that technically, you don't have to make something for them. They just need to take something valuable, trade it for something else valuable, or be willing to spend money on something that's valuable to think that they could flip a profit for it.
Right. But naturally, I would think that, us, being crafters and gatherers would assist in that a little bit more than, being mercenaries or being battle jobs.
I mean, maybe they need escorts through the mountains. Maybe they want some rare thing off of a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I don't know. But I mean, I kind of understand that at the very least for one crafter or gatherer, the Moblins are definitely one day. I mean, the Moblin city is literally entirely a bunch of crafters. So either crafting with them or gathering for them. Like, again, either of those makes sense. Most of these tribes are just trying to live.
Yeah.
Like, the Yaqui could have been battle, maybe dealing with the rival Yaqui tribes or something. And maybe they also have something to do with this. It's entirely possible. There's also the Mammal Jaw. Again, there's the Moblins. I mean, even helping people in Solution 9 again is a technical possibility. Although I think we'll sooner have custom deliveries in Solution 9 sometime later in the expansion versus any sort of tribal quest involvement. But yeah, that's it. How many jobs have you even leveled, Sly? Because you'll be able to level with these, obviously.
How many have I leveled? What, 3?
That's it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like after Dawntrail, I got sidetracked with other stuff.
That's true. It's been busy. And October is about to be fucked. To the maximum. Speaking of custom deliveries, we're going back to the train.
Yeah.
Nidowique. Of course, They went with the cat lady. They're like, we could have made it any of the trolley guys. We made it the cat lady.
Yeah. The wife of Walika.
There you go, wife of Walika. Probably building another train, I'd assume, or helping them like get materials to build another train.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
the train that we destroyed.
Okay, but listen, it was for the greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we destroy this one too? Is the real? How about we destroy another one? Listen, sometimes it's just how it's got to be.
I think we're building like a bigger, gaudier train, like a Orient Express type joint.
What if we're making like the monorail in Japan?
Oh God,
dude! You know what that reminds me of? Yeah, the bullet train. Are we gonna make a fucking bullet train? We build the train and then suplex it. It's perfect. I'd assume they want to set up a trade route with Alexandria. And they probably need trains to do that. So I'm gonna guess that's another part of it in some capacity. But yeah, do we need Electrope for this train? Electrope, man, it's the potential's limitless.
Yeah. I hate you for that. You've been doing too much M4.
I mean, I've been doing it every week. So, that's one or two pulls of dying to Uptime Sunrise is more than enough for me most of the time. What else was I going to say about this? There was one other thing. Totally forgot what it was. But yeah, I mean, it's just Cat Lady and Trolley guys again. I don't remember what the other thing I was going to say was. Roll quests, the finale. I've not done mine yet. I'm going to do them in October at some point.
I've done melee. That's it. And it was interesting. It was a bit funny. It had like the melee one had a bit of a Hildebrand feel to it.
Interesting way of putting it.
Yeah.
That's going to make the actual finale roll quest also interesting. Looks like it's in the Sigoli Desert for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe if I do the roll quest, that would make more sense to me. But yeah, we just have a few screenshots of that. The gang's all here. The gang is all here. Never forget. And then also the Wachumeki finale quest as well. We knew we were getting both of these in 7.1.
I got to finish Wachumeki. Because I used Wachumeki to kind of level the crafters, but I didn't need to do it for all of them. But yeah, I need to finish Wachumeki. It's actually interesting.
I don't even have enough jobs leveled to do it. I only have enough jobs to do 2 of them. No, I think 3 of them. Because I don't have fishing, and actually, I might have 1 of each job except for fishing. Now that I think about what I don't remember what the spread is.
No.
But yeah, there's that finale as well. I'd assume that 7.1X, they didn't specify when anything was here. They just said in 7.1. Like normally they're like 7.11 or 7.1X. Like they didn't even bother. They just like, this is happening. Which kind of annoying when it comes to a later part in this, but we'll get to that when we get to it. You know what's also coming though? You mentioned the Hildebrand feel.
Yeah.
Nashu's like, new civilization. Time to blow it up. Instantly. Can't bring this woman anywhere.
Nope.
They said this would be a short introduction into Hildebrand, which tells me it'll probably be like Stormblood's first quest, where we kind of just have Nashu and we haven't really, or we just locate Hildebrand at some point in this quest. She's like come out here looking for him, and she stumbles into Solution 9 somehow. Well, Hildebrand's been, or at least thought he was a Sin Eater and Light Infused at some point. Maybe he's Thunder Infused or thinks he's Thunder Infused at this point. Or maybe he just thinks the potential of Electrope is limitless, and he just wanted to see it for himself. I hope they do something with him fighting in the Arcadian, just like as like a side cutscene. I really hope. I have a feeling.
Go ahead.
I have a feeling Brute Bomber is going to be in this quest line. I have a strong feeling Brute Bomber is going to be in this quest line.
I was going to ask, do you think we get any, Hildebrand instance
like the Godbert one
battle? Yeah. No, maybe not like.
Oh, you mean like Asura or Gilgamesh?
Yeah.
We literally have the biggest bridge.
Yes. That's what I've been saying.
Like, come on. I want an Electrope
right
infused Gilgamesh.
Yes.
That's what I want. And I want to fight him on the biggest bridge. Yeah, Knight of Alexandria would make sense. He ends up like an Otis in a sense. Yeah, that would check. I mean, to be fair, Otis, if I recall, looks like he has most of Hildebrand's facial features anyway.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for him to even be mistaken as Otis potentially by somebody who's here. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I will be very sad if there's no Gilgamesh fight this expansion. I think there will be a trial at the end of everything in 0.55, a year and a half, almost 2 years from now. But this is going to be a really short introduction quest. I'm looking forward to it. The last set of Hildebrand quests were really good. In Endwalker, it was peak. So hopefully they can continue peak. And also, Nashu stopped trying to blow everything up. But Brute Bomber has to be in this. Like, at some point, ain't no way you can bring Nashu and her bombs here and have Brute Bomber not have something to say. I refuse to believe it.
Yeah.
Then we have New Game Plus support. It's just Viper, Picto quests, role quests, main scenario quests. Still don't know why the expansion doesn't release with it. But, it's funny. He specifically calls out the living memory trick of being able to rewind it back before it's depressing. You can already do that. You don't need this to do that. So I don't know why even bring it up here. But yeah, if you want to rewind living memory and do that again, then you can do that here. Duty support. So they announced that duty support is going to slowly add support to non-main scenario dungeons, which does imply dungeon reworks for all of them as well. So Halatali is going to be the first. If they do one dungeon a patch, this is actually going to take 10 years. Like even Nisa
to actually catch up.
Like there's a lot of dungeons. Like I hope they kind of just focus on ones that are part of Grand Company or like flight quests, like Dusk Vigil is, doesn't have duty support, but it's required for flying. What's it called? Shisui of the Violet Tide, also another. I hope they prioritize like Cutter's Cry, Zamiel, Ormvale, this, Halatali. I think it's more important than like, I don't know, Stone Vigil hard mode rework. Please do it. Fuck that dungeon.
Yeah, I'm asking them. I'm saying like, yeah, please at least do Stone Vigil. But yeah, like I get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. Like they should prioritize, stuff that is needed more than wanted. I mean, I want Stone Vigil to be done. Yeah, like you said, I want it to be done. It's not needed, but I want that shit to be done.
Yeah, and they said it's not surprising it's taking this long. They said Endwalker was all about getting the game to a point where it's like, oh, if you're new, then it's like really streamlined and you could like just go with NPCs and you don't have to worry too much. But again, there's tons of things that new players should be doing that do require other players. And there's not a problem. It's an MMO, for God's sake. I don't care either way if they don't add duty support to anything on the side. But consistency is a thing. And I don't think they want to commit more than the resources to do like one or two of these a patch when they've already said Dawn Trail is supposed to be you're playing an MMO, so play with other people expansion. Like that's literally their like content philosophy, is having more content that you can do with other people. Criterion's reward update, the Alliance raid that we're going to be showing later, the exploration content returning, Deep Dungeon, a field like there's a lot of stuff that involves groups of people. So I think that's why they're only doing one at a time. I'm surprised they're doing anything at all. So I'll take it as a plus. It does mean more people's favorite dungeons are probably going to get butchered. There are some people who probably are thinking of their favorite dungeon as a side dungeon, like, oh no, it's so fucked. They're thinking back to Sorkai, like, what did they do? What did they do to my boy Sorkai? How could you do this to my dungeons? And I'm just like, I don't care. I have YouTube videos. I'll just look back on those if I want to remember the old dungeons. It's fine. Now, next we have an update to Hall of the Novice. We finally got Hall of the Intermediate. No, it is. This is Hall of the Intermediate.
Okay. To be fair. Yeah, I agree. Like that, like stuff like this should have been in a long time ago.
Yes.
But now, like I take now when you have a lot of people, like you said, getting into raid, clearing raid, and then having, the expectation that, hey, I did this, I can do anything. I'm Superman. I can clear Eden Ultimate. Oh, honey. Yeah, and like I said, like a lot of people getting into raid, and this is their first real raid, and they cleared it. Congrats. But they still don't know like more of the rating terminology that has been presented throughout the years. Like they don't know Dynamo. They don't like they know, they may know Protean. They don't Dynamo. They don't know, Twisters, Rot, things like that. And I wish, I wish this would kind of teach them, basic, rating terminology. This is a Dynamo. This is an Earth Shaker. You've seen Exaflare, you're good on that one.
Dude, they need a limit cut in this.
Yes.
Dude.
Fuck, they need a limit cut.
They unironically need limit cut.
Yeah.
We've used it so much. Like, to be fair, it's different with every boss, but still the idea of an AoE going from person to, like, in order, like, targeting someone with something at the very least. Doesn't have to be limit cut exactly, but the markers need to show up. And that's the big thing, is that people have often asked for some encyclopedia. I think Reddit has one of, like, what the different markers do, and there's, like, some YouTube videos that go over all the individual markers. But the fact that the game has taken such efforts to somewhat standardize these across a lot of content, but has still never taught people what they mean by default, means that at level 100, you still have people running away with split damage markers. Even if you skip, that's still something crazy to me.
Yep.
Yeah. So we see a few examples here. We see split damage AoE. We see spreads. We see an AoE tank buster. And we know there's other things. Towers is a big one. That you need to have somebody stand in a tower. There's just one downside to all this, Sly. Like, all of this is great, but there's one major, major flaw.
What's up?
It's not mandatory.
Well, and I don't think it has to be. I don't think it has to be because, I mean, there are so many ways to, or so many resources to kind of pick this up. I think eventually, people will pick up certain mechanics.
Here's the thing, Sly.
It's a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Sly,
and I agree with you that it should be it should be, but not 100%.
Sly, I am in level 100 content where people don't know what a split damage marker looks like, okay? Make it mandatory. Like, okay. I could understand some markers people being unfamiliar with. There are some that are fight exclusive. Obviously, those need to be learned for that fight. Like, I don't expect them to fucking throw, like, P8S, like the markers for that over people's heads, like the fucking the thing where he marks people where they're just like they can't take a hit. I don't expect hot and cold from DRS to show up here, but not the tree. Get the fucking if they put the tree in here, I'm leaving. Do not make the tree in Hall of the Novice. Stop it.
Shiva Circle should be here.
Yeah, like Shiva.
That should be.
I mean, yeah. that's more of a pattern thing, but yeah, I get what you're saying with that. I wouldn't be against common ideas, not just markers, but common ideas like 3 2 like
stuff that you would regularly see in like not just one. I mean, you see Shiva patterns in a lot of raids.
That's what I'm saying.
It would behoove you to kind of like
do not put happy brambles. Learn it. Do not put happy brambles.
We'll talk about that later.
Don't do happy brambles. Yeah, towers being in it. Yeah. Like there's some general mechanics or patterns that it would kind of behoove you to learn, so you get it in your head. Oh, Shiva circles. Oh, this pattern, that pattern. So you can kind of have the terminology and have the thought process to solve it while solving other mechanics during it. Yeah. And chat brings up a good point. While the brambles thing is a bit of a joke, breaking tethers and chains by running away from them is another thing that would theoretically be really good in here. Like unironically, happy brambles, kind of. Like breaking it with another player chain, because like that's not always obvious to people. Like I've seen so many people screw that up. And then the idea of standing close to somebody in order to make it easier to break by running, instead of just like, oh, I need to run away. It's like you have to create a minimum amount of distance. So like there is a lot of room, and this doesn't have to be the last update for this. I think it probably won't be. It probably can't be, but at the very least, they need to be quite extensive with what this actually shows, because there are a lot of standardized markers in the game. And again, I think it should be mandatory. I think that even me, like when I log in, if it won't let me queue into shit until I go and do this immediately, like they're probably going to DDoS themselves by making us do that. But like, I would be okay with it because I'm going to go do it anyway to make like content on it regardless. So I'd be okay with that. Like they've already lined up like a good amount of like YouTube. Like now I get to make a video on the new Hall of the Novice. I get to make a video on the updated Halatali to check it out when the patch comes out. The new Extreme trial like this. They actually already lining up some pretty good YouTube content for me. So yeah, it'll be all right. The question also is if it's not mandatory, Hall of the Novice is generally attractive because of the armor set and the ring. Do you think they include here's the thing. I think an armor set's a bit of a waste because you get the artifact gear at 50 anyway. That's item level 90, and that's more than enough.
Yeah.
Another EXP accessory, however, would be pretty dope. I hope that it's like level 50 accessories and or at least an EXP accessory that's like up to level 60 or something in that capacity. I think even if it's not mandatory, they do that, and this is set.
Yeah. I can see them adding an upgraded or graded / dated accessory.
I think they would just do another ring. I don't think they would do like a bracelet or anything. I think earring is off because they do the pre-order bonus. I don't think they'll do another earring other than the Bozia one, which exists. I don't think they'll do I think they'll just do a ring. In all honesty, They're not going to do a belt. Stop. They're not doing belts. Get out of here. Yeah, and I think up to level 60. Like, it doesn't need to be like an up to level 80, 90, whatever ring. Yeah, up to level 60. Give a mount. Yeah, if they give a mount, people will definitely do it. Hall of the Novice. What would be a good mount for Hall of the Novice? Come on.
Something that's not cute, apparently, because only raiders get cute shit.
Damn right we do. A sprout. Oh my god. But we have the Corpicur. That's close enough. I was gonna say, bouncing sprout would actually be not that bad of an idea. Yeah, we have the Corpicur. I think that's close enough. A chocobo with a sprout on its head, though. That's like a Pikmin chocobo. Give me a Pikmin. Give me Oliver. Olimar, whatever his name is.
A stack marker that can move.
You can't put that power out into the universe, Sly. You can't do that. Yeah. A fashion accessory that's just a sprout on your head. There you go. A sprout umbrella. I could see them doing that. They're not going to make a moving stack marker. That'd be toxic. Yeah, just get on it in the middle of a hunt. Hunts would be so toxic, man. Yeah. I would just wait until the boss is at like 10%, and then I would just finally get off the thing, and then
AoE Tank Buster Mount win. Oh god.
Oh no. Oh no. But yeah, no, super good. They even said that maybe they'll do something that is about rotations in the future, like a basics of the job thing. They said they're really kind of hesitant to do something like that. It's very resource intensive, and they run the risk of not doing what the community actually figures out is best, which it's still better to give people a tool that is like, oh, I'm actually learning like what my skill. Like give Black Mages one that just shows them to swap with Fire 3 and Blizzard 3 for the love of fuck. Just give Black Mages that. You don't need any other job to get one other than Black Mages being taught to swap form with Fire 3 and Blizzard 3. That's the only job that they need a fucking Hall of the Intermediate for, as far as I'm concerned. Everyone else can fumble around, but not that, all right? Yeah, and then every expansion, if they make changes, then they'd have to like, I could understand making something that explains your job gauge, for example. Like what your skill interactions are with your job gauge. That I think is fine, just like a playable interaction with it. And that would also follow for Black Mage. But yeah, good addition though. Glad to see it. Todd specifically asked about this actually at Media Tour. And now we have it. Sometimes the system works. Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
PvP.
Yeah.
So we were told that the big updates to PvP would start in 7.1. And this has been, I've actually been very, not anxious. What's the word? Yeah, I guess kind of anxious. Like not the bad anxious, I was like, I really want to see what they do. Because Crystalline Conflict was really good for the game for 6.1 onward. Has it been perfect? No. I think it's longevity post-patch every season. Like it's like the first week of the season's kind of busy, but they struggle with like maintaining people being in ranked. Unranked, however, is popping all the time for Crystalline Conflict. So like it's great for that if you're playing, especially if you're playing in the evenings, like leveling or doing the GARs. Like it's great. Like it's fantastic. And Frontline Roulette is always busy now too. Like everyone is always popping into that. So participation in PvP has generally been a lot better since Endwalker. And so if they can continue to expand upon that, that's great. We got a little bit of a teaser about some of the PvP stuff happening. They did briefly mention PvE job balance. There's going to be some buffs, no nerfs. So bear that in mind. But PvP, they're going to be adding new skills to all the existing jobs, not Picto and Viper, because they already, I think they need to buff Viper big time in PvP. But other than that, and everyone's screaming, please nerf Dark Knight in PvP. Which this kind of might be the case, but only if you're, I guess, a more attentive player. So they're changing hit detection in PvP entirely.
Good.
I said that too, but it's not the kind of hit detection change I wanted.
Okay.
So a long time ago, Sly, you may recall that Final Fantasy XIV did not inflict effects, provide buffs or debuffs until you made contact with an opponent with a spell or ability. So Fire 1, for example, didn't refresh Astral Fire until the fireball reached the target. People didn't like that, so they made it so as soon as the spell finishes casting, the effect is present.
Right.
Then they remade PvP in 6.1, and it makes it so when you press Primal Rend, you're not even off the ground yet, and everyone is
that's
stunned.
been the biggest fucking annoyance Like you can be like a football field away and they press Primal Rend and you are stunned.
Yeah.
And that's been fucking sucking ever since, Primal Rend's been a thing. So,
but it's true of a lot of skills. So essentially what they're doing is they're making it again so that when you make contact or as close to when you make contact with the opponent as the game can display based on ping, that is when the effect will take place. So if you see a Primal Rend happening and you're quick enough, you can guard it.
You can block it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example. Now
good.
That's good in a lot of cases. In the context of some of the old skills, it kind of sucks. They brought up Machinist, for example. If you see the bullseye on your face, you can now block it. And that hurts Machinist a lot because that was their one strength, like their one really big strength. They really fucked Machinist on that one in particular.
Now, for myself, I wonder how this would affect Sky High. Can you still be assassinated as you go up? Because that shit happens. Like
that's a good question.
You go up,
Yeah. You can be assassinated. Dots can kill you in the air too. That's probably
dots can kill you while you're in the air too. Yep. So that's because again, once you get down, you have this brief period of invulnerability. But does the invulnerability hit when you go up though? Is the question now that we're getting these changes.
It might mean that you can more reliably Sky High to avoid something. So like if you're being Primal Rended, you can probably Sky High reactively to get away from it. Which does increase the usability of something like Sky High significant. There's a lot more counterplay that's available now. But it does raise the question of if they'll do anything to compensate for jobs that kind of needed the instant hit. Like something like somebody brought up, Machinist LB is technically reactable already. Now it's just even easier to react to it. And that does raise a lot of questions. Dark Knight Salted Earth pull-in is another big thing. A lot of people hate that, especially in front lines. And so now the pull-in won't happen until the animation. You could theoretically, stop the Salted Earth follow-up with some form of reaction and maybe not be completely obliterated. So, there's questions. And now they did say, of course, they are basically adding a bunch of skills. We don't know what changes they're going to make to existing skills. But I was kind of hoping they were going to maybe have more ping guarding in a sense, where it's like someone's like just barely out of range, but they're like in range for like a second, but then ping makes them out of range. So you just end up doing like you start like an attack, you're like, huh, but they're like slightly out of range. You don't actually do the attack, even though you've read. Like I was kind of hoping they would add something for that to like guarantee hits, regardless of like your ping difference in a sense. That was what I was hoping would change for hit detection. I don't think that's going to happen with this. I think that'll still pretty much be I think that's just a 14 thing forever and ever.
Yeah.
So, however, he even says Black Mage is changing a lot as well. Now, another thing is arena improvements to Red Sands and Cloud9.
How?
That's my question. I don't really feel like either needs to be. I feel like they're pretty distinctive. Like, do I like playing on Cloud9? No, I prefer the other maps.
Not necessarily. I mean, between the other maps, I mean, Cloud9 is my least favorite. But Red Sands, however, I think Red Sands is already like it's a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's how I feel about Cloud9 though too. Because here's the thing: I don't dislike Cloud9 because there's anything inherently flawed about it.
It's just boring.
I think the knock-up thing is the only thing that's kind of weird because it's a forced guard and or the feathers. Like maybe they're just adding more feathers.
That if you're really good with on Dragoon, if you're really good with the knock up, you can Sky High and you can Sky High and it won't register you as being knocked up. You will still be on the ground, like doing damage. So you could just like people think you're just on the ground, like you didn't LB, but you could just press your LB. You can essentially fake the funk, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like So that's one thing they kind of need to fix, even though I just told on myself. But yeah, like the thing about Cloud9 is between the other maps, I just feel like Cloud9 is just boring.
Yeah, I like the volcanic heart is super chaotic. It's a super shrunk map. So like coming back, I mean, if anything, honestly, Volcanic Heart has more issues than Cloud9 does. It is like a nigh impossible like comeback scenario in higher end play because it's too condensed of a map. Like you essentially can never get any breather. And that's an advantage of it. But if I was thinking of like making a change to a map from a balance and fun perspective, playing from behind on Volcanic Heart can feel infinitely worse than playing. Whereas playing behind on Cloud9, it's like it's really just how not fun the map interaction is. But even that, if you just, I don't know, you just need to change that slightly. Does it really need to be? I don't know. I guess it just says improvements. It's not like a rework or a rebalance. It could just be, again, more feathers. It could be reducing the fact that you have to force a guard out every time there's a wind event, or most of the time. Like maybe it's just anyone inside of a feather instead of just one person gets the effect. Okay. Like it could just be that. Right. I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But what would it be for Red Sands though?
Red Sands might just be that there's too many things happening. Like it is essentially a giant clusterfuck of like having 3 random events when the point is being moved onto the thing, and then having the dot that can only be cleansed either with the rain AoEs that are really tiny or going over to the oasis. It's like it might be a little bit too drawn away from the objective. Everything that you have to do on that map, it's a little too spread out. Whereas something like Clockwork Castletown, all of the things that can happen there kind of interact with the player and where they're fighting around the objectives. There's a lot of map interaction close to the objective. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the tornadoes on Cloud9. Those things are fucking homing missiles. I almost forgot about those things. Those things grief nonstop. It's funny because Red Sands unironically comes off as more of a frontline / rival wings map than it does a Crystalline Conflict map, because it's got so many elements present that I'd honestly prefer it to be a frontline or rival wing.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I would love Red Sands if it was a large scale PvP map.
The ant just killing.
Dude, it would be so great. Dark Knight was
a whole really fucking squad just gets killed by the ant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like such a spread out map. Yeah, the potions are out of the way. There's no line of sight really at all. It's literally just the spectacle map. But it is fun. I do have fun with it all the same. Now, they also talk about balance adjustments to front lines and rival wings. They're going to be doing some balancing, but they specifically confirm that there's a big update coming to front lines in 7.2.
Ooh.
Sly, I'm on my copium.
We all are.
Well, what's your copium? What's your copium?
You're hoping for capture the flag, and that.
No. First, before I tell you, what's your copium?
That was pretty much it.
That's it.
New map.
I don't even think about a new map. That's not even what I'm thinking. Frontlines. They said a big update.
What you thinking?
I want them to go down to 2 fucking teams and then just have every PvP mode in one fucking roulette that they cycle through instead of rival wings sitting there jerking off in the corner.
Okay, but you understand that they're going to have to adjust the current maps for this, right?
Yes.
Which
change are balanced every fucking map.
The maps are balanced around,
and they're rebalancing it.
Okay.
There's just no reason to have 72 players on the map. It's either 24 players, which feels fucking lame. Have you ever been in a 24 player like Seas map?
Yes.
Or it's fucking lame as hell.
It's boring as shit.
It's so fucking bad. Like, or you know what? But at least bring it down to teams of 16. Like, there's no point in it being like, if you're gonna do 3 teams,
you don't want a 36v36.
No, 48 is as much as anything should be on the map. That's just, there's no reason. Like, you should never be able to have less, and it shouldn't be more. Like, it shouldn't even be designed for that. It's just, I understand that a lot of people doing it don't really care about PvP. I'm not even a hardcore PvPer. but it just doesn't feel, it's just a clusterfuck of like nonsense. And that's why scholars and dark, that's why they run rampant, because the numbers are just inflated to fuck. Like, yes, I think they need to fundamentally adjust Scholar and Dark Knight because of, even if you are going to go down to 48 people, especially with only 2 teams. One of the only reasons Dark Knight and Scholar can even remain right now is because it's 3 teams, in my opinion, at least. But people don't like it anyway. So what the fuck? It's like people want them to change that anyway. I really would really prefer them to just go down to 2 teams of 24. Or even 2. Honestly, I just think we should have fucking teams of 10. Fuck it. All right, fuck it. Teams of 15. I don't think we're better off with a 48-man PvP, or at least having it be like the standard number across everything. Or fix your queue so that way you don't need to change it. I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of things I would change. But I've watched them flounder and fail to do anything with front lines. We've seen them remove modes, remove maps, say they're temporary. Astrologos is coming back. Slaughter's gone forever. Like, I've watched them flounder. And the problem has always been, at least in Frontlines, 3 fucking teams. It created queue problems before they automated it to be everyone was freelancer. Then people fucking complained about being forced freelancer. Fuck you. All right? It was fucking terrible back in A Realm Reborn when everyone was just grand companies swapping across everything in order to make pre-mades to shit on all the other teams. And I did it, so, I had fun. But everyone else was having a miserable time. All right? That's like, that answer was fine, but it just shouldn't have ever been that in the first place. It should have just been 2 teams from the fucking get-go. Just because you don't care about PvP and you want an excuse to play it, even though you either don't actually give a shit or you're bad at it. It doesn't matter. It's not good. All right. You're just like, oh, but then we lose the ability to fucking, when we're behind, we just sweep behind the team. No, you mean the 2 teams who fucking fight the whole time and the 3rd team just laughs at them in the corner and wins the whole goddamn map? Just make it 2 teams. Just redo all the maps for 2 teams. It's just been a problem forever.
Yeah. I still like the chaos of, 72 people.
There's not even any chaos anymore in Shatter, and that's your favorite mode. It's bland as fuck because it's got all standard spawns. Which you'd think would be better because the random spawns in Seas were terrible, but Shatter sucks. So Shatter needed the randomness in order to make it fun, and now it sucks even more than it ever did.
Official shatter hater right here.
Shatter, more like shitter. Yeah, exactly. At least when the spawns were random, it was kind of engaging. My least favorite day of the week is Shatter Day.
Day of the week is Shatter Day. Yeah, god damn it. y'all some haters. Is
Shatter even on Saturday? If not, that's a huge missed opportunity.
No. Yeah, I know, right? Shatter Day.
Get on it, Square.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, now that I'm heated about PvP, they also said they talk more about ranked updates. We still haven't heard about them bringing back old series rewards. They have to talk about it, right? They have to talk about it.
They won't.
No, they have to talk about
it.
They won't. They can't keep ignoring us, Sly. They have to talk about bringing back. It's such an easy answer to the problem of trophy crystals being like not useful enough.
I'm telling you, they won't.
Like, we have the solution to the reward structure not being
engaging. We have the technology. Everything's there. Oh, I don't know what to tell you.
Like, imagine being a new PvPer and being like, oh, what's the reason to do the series? I don't really like that. Oh, but there's this old series reward I can buy with the trophy crystals. Great. They said they were not gonna FOMO us with it. I don't even want the rewards. I'm mad for other people. They just said, they said eventually. They got to talk about it, right?
We'll see. Just don't be sad / mad in part 2.
Oh no, I will be. That's just because they don't talk about it, Sly, and just because I don't think they really will talk about it, doesn't mean I can't be upset if they don't talk about it.
I'm just telling you right now, like, it's just gonna get ignored.
I want everyone to remember this moment, by the way, when everyone says I never have anything negative to say about 14, fucking clip them this. All right, clip them that entire segment that we just went through. Okay?
Yep.
It was like 12 minutes of complaining. All right? All right, then they showed us Yuya Wada. We already talked about that. We jumped ahead. They said the third boss is very engaging, much like some of our other Dawn Trail dungeon bosses.
Good. Glad they're keeping that trend.
I'm also very glad they're keeping that trend. Even though I don't dungeon that much still, like even with the funner dungeons, I still have very positive and fun experiences with those bosses.
Yeah.
So I think the third boss of Strayborough is probably the smartest boss they've ever like made for a dungeon. Because it's like pretty standard, but it's also very like unique and fun to do. So I'm a big first boss Strayborough enjoyer though.
I hate the hit section on that fucking shit. It fucking sucks ass.
Just be better.
Oh, I am better. Like, just be
not.
better. Yeah, just fight server ticks. Sure.
No, just,
why not?
Just play better, Sly.
Okay, cool.
Then we come to Echoes of Vana'diel, the first of the 24-man raids, and it is none other than Juno, the
first walk.
The first walk. Now, the name tells us more about this than anything. That's a very important name.
Well, the pictures tell us more, but yeah, sure, the name. Because like
the picture is a misdirection.
Well, yeah, because like, okay, it's Juno, the first walk, right? And I'm pretty sure this is Lower Juno, correct?
That is Lower Juno. That is the most popular set of stairs in all of Juno. Get your Gobby Bag quest right there in that door on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, so they show us the picture of Lower Juno. Great. And then they show us a picture of the Sanctum of the Shadow Lord.
Yeah, the throne room in Castles of All Baileys, which is clearly not Castles of All Baileys here at this point.
No.
Sly, I know what's happening here.
What's happening?
We now know what the term echoes means. They are indeed using the Wings of the Goddess Walk of the Echoes here. The first walk. This is a walk of the Echoes.
That's the expansion I'm on right now, and I fucking need to continue. Shit.
They are actually going with... So, to explain it briefly, this is the super truncated version. The Walk of Echoes is essentially an interdimensional section that connects all versions of Vana'diel through Atamos. If you want the longer version, the Vana'diel of Final Fantasy XI is actually a fake version created by their god Altana, because the real version and every other alternate timeline version was lost for one reason or another, and yours is the one remaining one. It's not even the real world. It's kind of like we're the source. It'd be like if our game took place on like the 4th. And the source was like fucked up and destroyed at some point. That's kind of the equivalent of what we're working with here.
Oh shit, this is SMT5. You haven't gone through the story yet, but yeah, basically, like, long story short, spoilers, you're living in fake Tokyo.
I figured as much. I figured that out in the first hour of playing, that we were probably
you're living in fake Tokyo. Yeah. Like, the real Tokyo died a long time ago.
I literally could tell immediately that the world they were in was the fake one, and they just found the real one.
Yeah,
I played enough JRPGs to see that, to see the turn coming at some point. But yeah, I think that this is effectively what this is. Now, how it ties into 14's story is a totally different thing. I don't think anyone can 100% nail that down, but we now have the base game of Final Fantasy XI's final boss, and that of the Shadow Lord. We have Prish, the main character from Chains of Promethea, and we have the wings of the goddess Walk of the Echoes. I'd be shocked if that's not what they're doing, a Walk of the Echoes play. They're calling it the first walk, and it's called Echoes of Vana'diel. This was an angle a lot of us predicted that they could go with. But Echoes, obviously, in 14 is, has a whole nother meaning, and they could tie the two together. But yeah, it's very likely that either you're teleporting around or Juno in whatever this is, however they're doing this alternate, area. I don't want to say alternate Vana'diel because they said that this is 14's world. They did confirm we're not going to Final Fantasy 11. Like as if that needed to be reconfirmed, they are confirming that we're not just going to Final Fantasy 11. That it's possible the Shadow Lord took Juno because Shadow Lord constantly attacked Juno in Final Fantasy 11, like in the story. And he was trying to take down the duchy. Could it be possible that he did make it his throne, essentially? Which actually would make some of the events that they could go for in the future make more sense, funnily enough. Fucking Camelot's going to be with us at the start. And then when we beat Shadow Lord, it's like, we need to take Juno back from there. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Sick motherfucker. We're taking it back for him. And Precious just going to be along for the ride. Yeah, there's a lot of angles to play here. But Juno, for those who didn't pick up on it, it is basically the first end game hub of Final Fantasy XI's first expansion, the base game and the first expansion. So it's very popular for a lot of reasons. And then, the Shadow Lord's throne room, which is probably somewhere in the Garden of Rulud. Yep. And that's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
Remember, this is supposed to be a lot harder than Mists of the Realm, they said. They expect people to wipe 3 times on average.
Can't wait.
Yeah, should be a good time. Then we have Minstrel's Ballad, Sphyn's Burden. Sphyn's Burden, yeah. And that's Interphos. Please don't fumble this.
Yep.
Please don't fumble it. Don't fumble it like you did Endsinger, please. That's my only ask. We do see another shard. Sly, did you know that in the Interphos, you're being taken to other shards or being shown reflections? Yeah. Okay, a lot of people miss that detail that you're being shown or put into simulations of reflections that were lost. Calamities, specifically. The gravity section is an earth calamity. And the other one is a wind calamity. And this is an ice calamity that we have here. And those bridges are going to break. Yep. And he even says that bridge is probably going to break. You got to dodge the laser, but the bridge is going to break. So have fun. That is already very reassuring to me. Not from a mechanical standpoint, but from they understand the strength of their fight and how to make it more interesting and extreme. Adding in a third mode, something they kind of do. I mean, we see that with like Vala Garmanda, for example, with the fire mode being added in extreme, ice mode being added in here. Just kind of makes sense. But to me, it shows they understand what already made one of their other fights a lot of fun, and that they've already set it up lore-wise to be able to do this. So I'm already very hopeful to see even something like this. And the creative arena usage, which is, I think, the Interphos' greatest strength.
Yeah.
So, big thumbs up. I breathe a sigh of relief until I actually do it, though. It says healers are going to have fun. Speaking of fun.
No more games. This is where y'all were going with this? This is where y'all were going with Unreal? Great. Honestly, great.
I like how you're clapping, but because of your voice, the gate, it just looks like you're doing this quietly. It's just not coming through the sound gate. I said Byakuya would be 7.2. I was certain of that. I was just hoping I was like, it could be 7.1, but I hope it's not. It is.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that we got Byakuya, Sly.
I am.
I'm upset we didn't get Nidhogg.
Slightly. I'm so upset we don't
Slightly,
have
because your name
Ravana.
is Sly. I get it. Anyway.
Boo.
And he
Yeah,
was a
I was just-
Dragoon, so it's perfect.
I was hoping for Ravana. I was really hoping for Ravana. Does this mean that, well, maybe not. You know, like you said, Nidhogg might be a possibility. For Endwalker, we had Ultima, we had Thoradin. Who else?
We had the Warring Triad, Thoradin, and Ultima Weapon. Ultima Weapon was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, to remember for the end of Shadowbringers, when we got it, it went Shiva, Titan, Leviathan.
So 9 out of 10, we're getting the Four Lords. Well, some.
Oh yeah, Suzaku and Seiryu were always gonna, like, I figured they were gonna be in a row. I just figured they would do 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 for them, and then sandwich them between MSQ ones like Nidhogg, or like maybe a different one they want to do. There's no saying. Keep in mind, obviously Shiva, Titan, Leviathan is not in order. That's 2.4, 2.1,
Right.
2.2.
Right.
And then Ultima is 2.0. So they went back even further. Like, they jumped around all the Realm Reborn. And then we got Sephiroth, Sophia, Zervin in order. But then they went back to Thoradin. So there's still no saying they can't even, like, maybe they don't do Suzaku and Seiryu next. Maybe they throw Susanoo in the next. Like, there's just no set order. But the only order we've seen is the actual trial series ones being 1, 2, 3 back to back. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens here. But there's just hasn't been. They just kind of do whatever it feels like.
Yeah.
And Shinryu is going to be later in the expansion, obviously. They're going to jump back to Shinryu, which is going to be a really fun one. There's no, at least we know
yes.
they'll use Shinryu. There's no shot they don't. Yeah.
Shinryu is so much fun. Can't wait for that one.
This one's going to be fine. I just didn't like doing this for 99 totems. I don't have no problem doing the fight. I just didn't like doing it for 99 fucking totems. Twice a week, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy it. It's a good fight. It's probably the hardest of the fights. I'm dreading Suzaku in the PF. Motherfuckers are not good at Suzaku.
You're not good at Simon?
No, they're really not. It's not even the Simon Says, actually. It's the towers and the running. Like when it's like, oh, you're get forced march plus Simon Says, people are dead.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you people are dead to Simon Says plus forced march. Yeah, they're not even good at normal mode. Like, they're fucked. And then the towers in there as well. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a time. So yeah, looking forward to it. looking forward to it. Ugh, but yeah, Byaku's up first.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah. You know what else is great, Sly? New battle
Chaos.
content.
Chaos.
So, Sly, we had a discussion probably about a month and a half ago at this point
Yep.
about an interview where Yoshi P said that we were getting a Savage 24-man. We questioned its authenticity of the translation. We questioned what he meant by it. We questioned pretty much everything.
For good reason.
Apparently, it was just as translated. Not the word savage, but effectively as translated. Because we have the Chaotic Alliance raid, which is really the Chaotic Alliance trial, to be fair. Raids are mostly in this game one bosses anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Chaotic difficulty. Chaos! And this is an extreme to savage-ish level encounter against Cloud of Darkness.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing happening.
Yeah?
We have 2 iterations Cloud of Darkness, right?
Yeah.
So they have an ample sample to pull from. Like both from World of Darkness and then from the raid itself. So we're getting both of that. We're getting both of that in one fight with 24 people.
Yep.
Chaotic is right. How many people are we going to lose because we got 5 people on one square? Which, yeah, that's in there too.
So you want to know what's funny, Sly? So I actually have recorded a video with all of my predictions of this fight. And after parsing all the possibilities, I don't think this will be that bad for PF. It looks a lot worse than it is. It's actually, if anything, way easier because of the number of people and the number of squares that they had to use in order to do it. It's crazy. When I've actually broke it down, I was like, wait, this is easy. So the only screenshot we see is of what is a combination of obscure woods and empty plain with the World of Darkness, Cloud of Darkness in there. Mm-hmm. There are guaranteed 12 people handling the center mechanic and 12 people handling the outer mechanic. Because of the number of people in the center, there's 30 squares to split between 12 people. And you need
count the squares?
Yes, I counted the squares. There are 15. Okay. There are 15 squares on each side of the boss and 12 people. So even for a half room, there's 3 squares spare. Now that's obviously not that important, but the big thing is you need 3 people in each corner to do the towers. So you only ever have 3 people slightly shifting over onto a side that has 3 people. So there's a ton of space that is just unoccupied. There's like the fact that there's an entire 3 square leeway and it's not made perfect. If it was 24 squares, this would be fucked. It would be as fucked as you think it would be, because then you need exactly 12 on each side. Yeah. But it's 30. It's got 30 sections amongst 12 people.
Oh, yeah, 30.
Yeah. So there's just so much space for everybody to do their own square that they don't need to dance around other people's squares at all. They could literally, everyone can dance between their own 2 squares and then just shift over to do the mechanic. And that's only the 12 people in the center. The people on the outside actually also don't look, the people on the outside actually look like they might have it worse. Because if I'm judging this correctly, there's an anti-air or wide angle on each of the outer platforms, and then either an Art of War or Brambles.
True. Now the one shakeup is in this, because we didn't have
Atomos.
We didn't have the Atomos in either iteration, right?
Correct. Atomos is strictly is in every one of the tower bosses in some way, shape, or form. But not really in Circus Tower. Like it's really in 1 and 3, but not really in 2. And the question is what those are doing. That's the biggest question mark, because both of them are pointed to the same square, and there is another square on the other side, which means whatever's happening over here has to be done. Like it's if it's not being repeated on the other platform, it has to interact with the other platform in some way. Either that or one side just has to do something different. It's entirely possible that your side gets picked. You have to know how to react to it. It looks like it's aiming for the Cloud of Darkness clone. It's directly under the hitbox in the center of that platform. So it either pulls people towards the Atomo, so you have to be pulled towards your tower before it goes off. So it's literally like a second from going off right here. Or it's going to move the clone is the other possibility.
I see. Yeah.
It could pull, and this is also assuming the center platform isn't interacted with at all, because the center platform is locked away. You can't, once you're on your squares, you're on your squares. So if you don't have 6, 6, and 12, you're fucked because you can't do the towers. Which, to be fair, shouldn't be a problem. Like, unless they mark people with something, which, again, this is extreme level for 24 people. Like, close to Savage with this mechanic, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's just going to suck people into their spots. I don't think it's actually going to interact with the clone at all. But we have all that figured out from this already. If this is how it ends up releasing, like we've already figured out likely the hardest part of the fight. And so I don't think this is going to be that bad. Also, this isn't an ultimate. This is going to be like a 10-minute encounter.
Right. I mean, you're right about that. I mean, again, the thing you have to understand that makes this chaotic
Is the people.
People.
Like DRS, there is no boss with a longer than like 10-minute in range. The queen is 935 or something. Like, and that's hard. That's in theory, that's 48 people and has like all of the special like reflect mechanics and everything factored in, and a no death clause.
Right.
I think this is gonna be like pretty approachable. And I think if you have 24 people in BIS, it's gonna fucking it's gonna like die like 90 seconds ahead. Like it's literally we're gonna skip mechanics day one with a full group of 24 like hardcore raiders, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna like skip swords like equivalent to an M4S.
Right. Now, I do have a question about this, but I will table it for the next section.
Yeah.
Which is Ultimate.
Yep.
So, for Ultimate, we did get the same image we got from, the same image we got from Chinese Fan Fest, which was...
Well, we got to see the boss. We didn't get to see the image from China. That's not the same image.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
This isn't one of the...
No. It's they showed Thanjeet, but they showed him with two clones in the background. You can still pull a lot from this, but still, yeah.
Yeah, you can pull. Yeah. So, okay. So one image we pretty much were aware of, or a boss that we were aware of.
Yeah.
But we get a new image of the Oracle of Darkness.
Seeing that image, man. Do you know what's happening in that image?
No.
What do you think is happening in that image? Because you've done that fight, haven't you?
I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
True. So that is the APOC mechanic. That is where in the original fight, she summons, depending on the point of the fight, 1, 2, or 3 AoEs that kind of trace the ground. And when they reach each point, they do a giant explosion. So that's then combined with a hammer stop mechanic. That's combined with a party, with a stack and spread. A tank buster is in one of them. There's a knockback in one of them, like a jump to the tank and then do a knockback situation. It's mixed with a handful of things. But that's not the part that's scary. So this is quad APOC, which doesn't exist in the original. But she's also casting Spell and Waiting, which means it's being saved for later.
So here's what I'm thinking. You're like, because they said that you're getting only certain aspects of Eden. You're not getting every single boss of Eden. Correct?
No,
you're getting
that would be fucking stupid. No. You know who they definitely don't use now? Cloud of Darkness.
No.
That'd be fucked up.
But again, Spell and Waiting was a Voidwalker mechanic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but she uses it in this phase too, because she is Voidwalker. Right. Gaia is Voidwalker.
Yeah. I'm going back to like the actual.
Yeah. So you're wondering if we're going to have Erebos punch us in the fucking face?
Yeah.
I don't think Erebos makes an appearance. I wouldn't be surprised if Erebos made an appearance. I don't think Erebos is gonna. Nobody. They fucking abandoned Erebos. They're like, yeah, we're not gonna explain that. He's just a dude who punched and swiped. Yeah.
Just a dude who punched.
He's just a dude who punches. Like, they gave up. There's like no like real lore explanation of Erebos. He's just a high ranking Void Sent, is all we know. So I don't think they're gonna bother with that. But most of Gaia's mechanics are Shadowkeeper mechanics anyway. Like, they're like newer versions, updated versions of them. So I mean, yeah, we kind of will, but it's not gonna be like an important bit. The real question is how many phases we're looking at? Because I think we're looking at 5 or 6. I think we're looking at probably Fanjit is the first phase, in all honesty. Then Eden Prime, then Gaia, then either Shiva or they do the Shiva Gaia combined phase immediately, and then I think there's probably another phase after.
Yeah.
I don't think Shiva actually ends up getting her own phase. I think they just straight up like go from Gaia to the Oracle of Light and Dark, and then Shiva's mechanics will show up in that. And I don't think Eden Prime's going to show up either. I think maybe some Eden Prime, maybe Eden's Promise summons clones of Eden Prime as like a callback mechanic. Just like I think that the Titan cart will be in here, but we won't fight Titan, for example. Like, I think when they do Junction, when she does like Earthen Fury for Junction, that we're going to have the Titan cart. I think it's too iconic. Here's the thing, though. T didn't have height, and height was one of the most iconic things in all of Alexander. So I guess they can't hit every note.
Right.
But I do think that the Titan car for Junction Titan has to be a thing. Because we have Junction Titan already. Like, why not, right? It's going to be a time. I've been predicting it's going to be about the same as DSR. And I think the first group will beat it in like 3 or 4 days.
Fair.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
So here's my question between, chaotic and ultimate.
Yeah.
Because we're getting this again in the same patch.
Yeah.
But when?
That's the question.
Logically speaking, here's my headcanon.
That's a hat.
Could they do this in the same?
Sly.
Shut up. Could they do this in the same exact patch? Meaning, like, it's going to come in an off patch. Both are going to come in an off patch. But could they do both of these within the same patch?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I think chaotic is 0.15, and I think this is 0.1. I'm expecting there's the chance. I'm 50-50 on 0.x5 for chaotic. I wouldn't be surprised to see it be 0.xo. I think it would be a mistake, but I think they could do it. Because Unreal would be in 0.0 along with EX Triumph. You're good there. You have like that's good. You have MSQ, you have New Extreme, you have the new dungeon, you have whatever PvP updates there are. Like you're good. You're good on the 7.1 like volume, right? And then you have 7.11, which is ultimate. And then you have 0.15, which is chaotic. I think it would be silly to do chaotic, extreme, unreal, all in 0.0.
Oh yeah, like extreme, like doing all 3 in 1. Yeah, too crazy. There's part of me in like the back of my head that says like, what if they release both this and ultimate? Because like, again, not everybody's doing ultimate. Hear me out. Not everybody's doing ultimate, but chaotic is there as an option alternative to ultimate within the same patch.
No, they're gonna let ultimate be on its own. They're smarter than that.
Okay,
they're smarter than that. It has nothing to do with the people in ultimate not being able to do chaotic, but it has everything to do with putting in 2 high-end pieces of content at the exact same time. They're just not going to do it. If it was something like exploration content, and we had that to say, like, obviously we know exploration content comes in 0.15. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Like something like Island Sanctuary or new map update or new PvP map. Those all absolutely. there's a balance there between like people who just kind of play the game versus someone looking for a high-end challenge. Right. But I think, yeah, Extreme 0.1, Ultimate 0.11, Chaotic 0.15. Yeah, that's the schedule I'm looking for. I also, going back to Chaotic, since we kind of leapfrogged into the Ultimate talk, I'm thinking it's going to be a 7-10 mid-item level.
And another thing we have not talked about, we kind of glanced over, the reward.
They said they would have rewards that for multiple clears and for helping people out. Now, to be fair, I don't know if they're going to actually incentivize helping out like with a first-time bonus. I hope they do. I think it's a great idea. If they really want to expand like the idea of being a part of things like those Deluberman. Like imagine if all the Deluberman BA groups got a bonus for helping out a first time. Like it would be great. That's a huge plus. Absolutely. The reward structures aren't made for it, but it's a good idea at its core. Other than tombstones. But
yeah, and that's what I'm wondering. Like what is sufficient reward for doing something that they say is on, like you're saying is on the level of EX/Savage, but what would be sufficient reward for this?
I think there will be a mount. And I think it will drop totems specifically. I think you'll exchange the totems for things you want. I think there will be a mount. I think there will be, I want to say body and legs. I don't think a weapon.
Okay.
I think I don't want to say they'll do glow. I wouldn't be surprised to see like 730 versions of like the cloud, like the World of Darkness gear, like ultra glowy World of Darkness gear. I think accessories would be the smarter thing to do. And I think they will be 730. They could also, yeah, give you an upgrade to your raid weapon to make it the same item level as an ultimate weapon. I'm sorry, to make it, they can make your current one glow. No, would they do that? No, because then they might use those for future ultimates. I don't think it'd be glam weapons. I think it's either going to be World of Darkness gear that's 730 and glowy, like a body or legs or like something. I think the smart thing would be to have accessories because I think we need accessory options in the game. I think it's more pressing. But I do think actual item level and a mount, which I'm going because of Extreme. Extreme has weapons and a mount and an Orchestrion, but I don't think they're going to bother with an Orchestrion here. You know, maybe a crafting material for like something housing related, but I think we're going to see them largely emulate what they do for Extreme.
Yeah. I mean, because like really when you think about it, nothing's really been done, you know, with body pieces or body pieces outside of, you know, Memoria Misera, but that was just because it was part of the relic. So this is kind of like a new case scenario.
Right. And I think it's funny because Memoria Misera suffers from having no mount. It's really hard to get people to do it because it has no mount. So I think if they hit the holy trifecta here with giving it gear, mount, and challenging altogether, I think that's all they need. In all honesty.
By the way, tested it. You can actually 2-man Memoria Misera.
Well, yeah. Wait, how do you?
Yeah.
Don't you need 2 people for the? Wait.
You don't. You absolutely do not need 2 people for the to hold back the attack.
Okay.
You only need one person. Yeah, you only need one person. Like, yeah, one person, a tank holds it, and then like you just the other DPSs it down. But yeah.
Yeah, and then the other question is, obviously, we need to compare this to Criterion. Because, like, this can't really step on the toes of Criterion. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. It can step on the toes of Criterion. Who cares if there's 4 body pieces available that are 730? Like, who really gives a shit? Like, there's no fucking downside to it all. Just fucking have, like, 4 armor sets. Who cares? Just fucking do it. No one's going to complain. Yeah. Oh, is it not this? I guess I'm not going to. Fucking kids, 4 armor sets. They're said, just fucking add more. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. What am I don't think they will do it. I don't think it'll ever be that simple. They just need to make sure there's some accessories someplace. And you know what? Extreme Trials have done accessories before. Just fucking add shit. I just think they can save on asset creation by copying a set that's already in the game for content that's old in the game, which is what this is, effectively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just don't think there's downside. There's just no downside into doing a bit of recycling with this. If it means the reward structure is correct, sure. Remember when we had the augmented artifact body pieces back in A Realm Reborn that you could make?
Sure do.
Yeah, fuck it. Augmented Warrior of Light Gear or whatever the fuck. I don't remember which armor sets dropped from World of Darkness. I remember from the other ones, but not the World of Darkness sets. A Parasol, an adventure plate. Glasses.
But that would But that goes back to the complaint / question of like what do you like doing this, what does it merit? Like and you know, like I mean, yeah, glasses and shit would like sounds nice. If that's all you get though.
No, I think in addition to all that, and to what I just said, in addition to, you have to remember we're at a point. We've been playing a game that literally is all about glam for over a decade at this point, right? Mm-hmm. While, yes, you want functional armor to get people to do something like this, it's going to be reduced to glam. And thus, you should also put the glam for all the subsequent features you've been adding into the game. A pair of glasses, a parasol, a mount, a minion. You have all these collectible functions in there on top of this. It's a lot of work to do all that, but at the very least, you need to dabble in adding things. Dude, imagine Cloud of Darkness glasses just gives you her fucking like green eyes or whatever the fuck they are. A mask? Who knows? There's room to explore plenty of options. And yeah, an adventure plate is almost certainly happening. So I think there's a lot of possibility. It's just a question of whether or not they'll do it.
Yeah.
Emotes. I don't think emotes. I don't think you should block emotes behind this, but still. And then there's the next update. Moving on from that, more hardcore content. Doman Mahjong update.
Let's go.
You can spend MGP to get cheerleaders. I was really hoping they would talk shit if you played bad, but apparently they just encourage you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can now get a cheerleader from Doman Mahjong. It's interesting.
With MGP.
Yeah. Yes. And then was probably the other most exciting thing about the patch, the housing update.
Let's go. You can turn your house into a TARDIS.
You sure can. So they're making it so that you can get a custom interior, or I'm sorry, you can get an alternate interior to whatever housing area that you're in. So if you have the Limsa houses and you have the Limsa interior, you can swap it to an Ishgard interior or a not Kugane. What's that one called?
Gridania.
No, Sly. I meant Shirogane.
Oh.
The Shirogane interior. No, I didn't mix up Kugane for Gridania. I was looking for the.
I thought you were just trying to give like examples, like other.
Yeah,
examples
that is another example. Sure, yeah, but you have you just like whatever. Point is, you can have different interiors. Yeah. But then they asked the logical question, Sly, that we would have asked. Well, if you can just change the interior, can you make a small into a large? The answer is yes. You can pay to upgrade your interior size once you already own the house. So you can have a small house with a medium or a large interior. It's free to just swap the theme of the interior, but to change the size will cost skill. But now you can do it. This is a good thing, Sly, because it means that even if they don't introduce a new housing area, they can just introduce new themes. Solution 9 theme to your interior, for example. It's a big deal. I will say this,
now
though.
The venue scene.
Yeah, the venue scene?
Go ahead.
No, venue scene?
Yeah, I was going to say, now that the venue scene is going to go crazy because, people with personal houses who couldn't, afford a large probably can now. Congratulations. There are going to be more venues.
Yep. Sly, what about my apartments? They talked about doing this
What
for
about 'em?
apartments like 8
What
years
about 'em?
ago. They said, oh, we could make it so
Turning
you
our
could upgrade
apartments
your
into a
interior.
TARDIS?
Yeah. I want a fucking penthouse. You know why? I know why they haven't done the apartment, though. There's actually a reason.
Why?
Because they'd have to make new interiors all because there is no medium or large interior. Here they can just steal the ones they've already made and then make one new one for like the sizes, right? Apartments need to be like they need to actually make a medium and a large to begin with. But I want it because I don't want a fucking house. We have the Solution 9 apartments. Just give us that.
Yeah.
How much gil do you think it'll cost to upgrade your size? Some people think it's the difference. I don't think it will be because the exterior is a factor here.
I was gonna say 20 mil.
I don't think it's going to be more than 10. To go to a large, regardless of the size, I think it'll be a 10. There could be 5 to go to medium, 10 to go to large. Because you can't make it the same price as like a plot. Because the exterior is a huge factor in it.
Yeah.
So, see, Chad understands. You know why I want them to upgrade the apartments? So that if I ever don't want to sub for a period of time, I don't have to worry about losing my fucking apartment. I can have my penthouse and keep it year round. Not that I ever unsub, but still. They get it.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, this is just a really big update for housing. It's very important. Very important update for the future of housing stuff.
Yep. Yeah, and of course, like the pillarless changes too.
Yeah. The pillars are gone in that one. However, it doesn't seem to imply that you could be pillarless in all of the things. It's just like they've now made an interior that's pillarless.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means they'll make pillarless versions of the other interiors. I think they will. But yeah, I think they should. I don't think it's easy, but I wish they could find a way to just let you move the pillars. So maybe if you like still want them, but you just don't want them where they are, and then you can choose to remove. That would be nice. Yeah. Now keep in mind the TARDIS change is not in 7.1. The ability to change the interior appearance is in 7.1, but the TARDIS they're still working on. So don't get too excited. This isn't going to be soon. It's going to be in a while, but it'll happen. And that's pretty much the end of the live letter. They just did a quick merch section. They showed they had like an Emmett Jobstone like keychain and like Picto and Viper, Vaj for the Primal concert, the album with the Wind Up Zero, and just a few basic things.
New TTRPG stuff coming out.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It just says Delve Deeper, but it just says it's the standard rulebook and deluxe edition. I don't even know. It looks just like
because it's different because it looks like you get more stuff than what we have currently. Yeah, I have the box right here, and it definitely looks like we get a lot more stuff. It's the full game. Okay, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, because what we got was a starter edition. Like it was just starter, and this is just the whole thing. DM cover, everything like that.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
It didn't look any different to me, but I also don't own it, and I don't have it committed entirely to memory. So. Yeah. But that was live letter 83. It was a decent one for a part one. Again, it was very concise.
Yeah. For a part one and it being like a TGS live letter because they had to be concise because of their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a big fan. Honestly, if all their part one live letters went like that, I wouldn't even be mad because there was just no downtime or fluff period. It was just business the entire time.
Straight up business.
Just straight up business. And that was good. It was good for me.
Yeah.
So that's it. We're all good. There's nothing else to talk about, Sly. We might have some interviews or something popping up in the week. Generally, coming back from TGS, there's interview pop-ups. So we do have to keep an eye on that for the next several days. That might be about what. So I was gonna arrange potentially a Final Fantasy 11 show for next week. Get some old heads on, and see about talking about some 11 stuff. But if we have interviews or whatnot, probably want to cover that.
Of course, you didn't give your prediction as far as the date, did you?
November 12th. He literally says if you've played Final Fantasy 14 for years, you probably know when it is.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
19 weeks, November 12th, which would mean a November 26th Ultimate.
Hey, you can just leave my Thanksgiving plate right there at the door. I'm raiding.
I'm thankful for my 7 raid team members. I am thankful for them for also abandoning their families. I don't know what everyone's making such a big deal about it. Bro, just clear before Thursday. Just beat it before the 28th.
Just be good. Yeah, that's a happy fucking thing to say. Just be fucking better. Just fucking be better.
Just beat it on the 27th and then go enjoy Thanksgiving. If you can't do that, then don't complain. Obviously.
Yeah, if you can't beat it, you don't get any fucking food because the leftovers will be gone by the time you beat it. Yeah, that's some happy shit to say.
Just get world first. That's what world first is competing for. Turkey. Assuming the Americans win, but you know. Or just don't be American.
And yeah, food planning for fucking Ultimate's gonna be shit.
What do you mean? It's gonna be easy. You have guaranteed food on the 28th.
Because you like have all this good smelling food in the house, but you can't eat it because you're trying to raid and everything. And if you do eat it, it's gonna give you the fucking itis, and you won't be able to fucking raid. So
this is why you have ham instead of turkey. Be smart. Let's be honest. Every time we talk about food prep for Ultimate, we talk about how responsible most people are. Bro, they just order McDonald's. Most people are not responsible enough to be Ultimate Raiders.
Yeah, they don't make prog stew like you or anything like that. Like you said, they just go to McDonald's.
Yeah, they like buy a ton of protein bars and then they shit their brains every like 45 minutes because there's too much fiber and protein and they're constipated to fuck and then they can't raid because their stomach hurts. Like, nobody makes smart decisions anyway. Just don't eat turkey because you will fall asleep. You're gonna have turkey,
asleep.
potatoes,
not
corn.
Just the turkey. Not just the turkey, the mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, because some people gonna have macaroni and cheese, the dessert, the cranberry sauce, the whatever pies that you have. I'm getting my mom to send me a cake again. So there's that.
Yeah, I don't do Thanksgiving because my family's 3,000 miles away. So see ya. What's up?
Happy has it easy. I keep telling Happy he should do his own Thanksgiving.
I am. It's called the Ultimate. That is my Thanksgiving. I'm eating content, Sly. That's what I'm in. That's what I'm gorging myself on. I will eat until I'm full on content. Nothing wrong with that. The thankful legend.
Yep. Thankful legend.
There you go. I'll give the cats some extra food. They can have Thanksgiving. All right. So we're going to wrap up this show.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed us talking about Live Letter 83. Thanks to our sponsors over on Patreon for supporting again. Don't have to. Content's free. It'll be on YouTube and podcasting apps tomorrow for anyone who missed today's show. And I'll also have a ton of... Aloha, don't yell at me. Hey. Listen, I'm glad you're in a yelling mood, but I'm trying to wrap up the show here, pal. Wow.
Happy, what do you think the title's going to be called?
Of what?
The title for beating Ultimate.
The Ultimate Roommates? I don't know. Roommates
Okay.
it's roommates ultimate, so you know.
Best friends forever.
Scissor legend? I don't.
Wow. Wow. And yeah, that's a good one to close off the fucking show. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you all so much for coming out. We really appreciate it. I guess, yeah.
You're the one who signs off first, Sly. You're leaning into your own sign out.
I'm leading into my own sign out. Yeah. Hi, I'm Sly. I'm 14's dad now. You're all my children. Go to your room, study.
It's going to be the promised legend, by the way.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox, Twitter Sly, aka Gray Fox. Right now, before everything gets crazy, October 11th, either way, I'll be gone. I am doing a RE subathon, or as my mod named it or called it, a subathon.
Wait, that's so original.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm doing Resident Evil games because it's October, you know, and everything. So right now I'm on RE1 HD remake. We met the goals for 2, and the incentive for the X gonna give it to you mod. 3, the Nowhere Safe mod, and 4, OG4 randomizer, which is completely fucking stupid. So we're working our way to RE5, and once we reach RE5, we can stop. We're good there. We're good. So yeah, you don't like once we get to RE5, you're good. You don't have to do anything else. You're fine. But of course, after that, I'll be gone to OniCon, during which Metaphor will be out, and I'll be doing a live several hour playthrough of it at the con. And then once I get back, I'll of course stream it for all of you. So that's what I've got going on. Happy, what's going on in your neck of the woods? Where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Happy. Since you're watching this on my channel, you probably know that already. So just stay. That's probably a good idea. I'm playing Throne and Liberty the past week or so. It's been all right. I don't know how much more I'll play because October's about to fuck my schedule in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
I got to finish the Metaphor demo, which is like 10 fucking hours long. And I'm like halfway through it, I guess. Romancing Saga comes out this month. Metaphor comes out this month. Dragon Age comes out at the end of the month. Really more of a November thing, so I'm not really considering it all too much. More worried about Dragon Quest being 3 days after patch. If patch is on the 12th. That's going to be fun. There was something else. There's Mario Party in October, and if you haven't seen my social media, just so know, I am very ready for some Mario Party. Sparking Zero is in fucking Christ. Sparking Zero is in October. So is Sonic. So is Sonic X Shadow Generations. Don't Google Sonic X Shadow. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. Please
Yeah,
don't.
bad idea. Safe search off. Don't do that. Anyway. It's October's gonna be busy. Oh boy. So yeah, that's my schedule's full. I have a lot of stuff. And State of the Realms, which we'll have more of. We'll probably have the next live letter will probably be November 1st. We should be getting the Moogle Tome event news soon as well. The Halloween event news soon. Interviews soon. It's a lot of soons. And my head's exploding. Trying to figure out how to balance it all. Yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be time. And I might go to Vegas in October, so still determining that. So, woo. Anyway, that's gonna be it for us. We're gonna go into a short post show, and we will see you next Wednesday. If not a Final Fantasy, I'm gonna give it a few days to see if any interviews pop up, and then I'll see if we can do a Final Fantasy 11 Boomer show. Yeah, we'll see. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I will see all of you in the next one. Sly will see you in like however many minutes he goes live after we're done. And yeah, bye.
Resident Evil.
Bye, but not really bye because we're still going to be sitting here in the post show on the screen that I haven't updated
See you soon.
in like a year and a half
See you soon.
for no reason at all. So yeah, end of.
See you soon.